Definitely. Yeah. Blood Simple for sure. With Blood Simple.
Yeah.
With Blood Simple. Because that was also a huge hit. Well, I mean,
Blood Simple was a relative
a huge
hit.
sleeper hit.
Right. Yeah.
For a film that cost basically nothing.
Maybe
I'm
I
not sure
take
if I
that
would
back.
say Hammett was the most emotional, because you're also outside of the characters in Hammett. Hammett is like more colorful, I would say, and is having more fun with language. Who's the guy they use
They have like a photo.
for Forever Young films?
Good evening. I'm Mortimer Young.
Oh, yes.
Which he shows up for Blood Simple and he goes,
Yes.
Forever Young, Forever Young.
Yeah.
Blood Simple. Forever Young. Forever Young.
They've used him a few times.
It's
I've
there,
kinda-
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy is so funny. So funny.
This is Blank Check with Griffin and David. I'm Griffin.
I'm David.
I'm mostly here to listen. I think the first one I saw was, I think it was actually just on television. I think I saw it pretty young. I think I was like 10 and I saw Raising Arizona. And that for me was like, whoa, what the hell is this?
Immediately locked in.
Just like, this is a language that, like I haven't heard before, but like I speaking to me. And I kind of watched them all from there. So Fargo did come out when I was 10, which is, I think, around the time I saw Raising Arizona, which makes sense.
Raising Arizona, as you said, is the same, and you locked in on that.
Same thing. And at that point, I would have been still addicted to cartoons, and it's like, whoa, this is totally, just making these cartoon like miniature worlds. Well, I'm talking about myself as a little kid watching Raising Arizona. So I guess let's like take a little time machine back to 1996 or
Tiny little
whatever
time
it was. And
machine.
I'm watching Rocko's Modern Life. I'm watching
That makes
Ren
sense.
and Stimpy.
Uh-huh.
I'm still watching the Rugrats.
Yeah.
All the insane reviews when it came out are people being like, why is this so fucking overwritten? There's all this insane criticism at the time
For
from
Raising
major
Arizona?
critics. Yes.
Well, and there's that like, I'm always mystified by this one, but they judge their characters. They don't like their characters.
Right.
They
They're
torture their characters.
patronizing.
It's like,
yeah.
And I do feel that if you're one of the people who was like, saw Raising Arizona and was like weird enough to be like, they don't like these people, I don't like this,
They love their characters.
I've never understood. I've just never understood that as even a criticism. It's
Sure.
it's like, especially when you're making a genre film, it's like, I want you to destroy everybody you create.
Director
Ari?
of-
But I was going to say, I'm happy to be here. It could be worse just to have the opportunity to say publicly that I love Miller's Crossing. This is a movie that I have more or less memorized.
Mhm.
I wasn't able to rewatch it last night, which I intended to do. So
I
it's
just
I'm a little rustier than I wish I was. Yeah, this one's important to me. This is Sonnenfeld, and then Deakins comes right after this. And there's a big difference between, I would say, the looks of those films.
Yes.
But you still got the the Evil Dead impulses.
Yes.
Right. Well, this was an early one for me. This was really early. Like, as I was first digging in, this was one of the first movies that I rented of theirs. And I remember this is around the time that I also was obsessed with Goodfellas, and this came out the same year. So it was overshadowed by that. Although, but it makes sense because Goodfellas is the best movie ever made. But
I agree.
But
Right.
then
I agree.
But this is one of the best movies ever
Yeah.
made. I was completely blown away, and this is a film I just kept rewatching, and I was a kid who, I was a fat kid with like a debilitating stutter. So, I keep hearing about these kids who are making Super 8 movies with their friends.
Right.
But, what do you do when you have no friends? And so instead of making movies, I just like wrote scripts.
Uh-huh.
And this was one of the scripts that I was completely obsessed with, No, the Coens they write them as like prose. They don't do like, I think they do interior, but they are, they're literate. They're literary in a way. And this film especially because, the dialogue is so musical and so beautiful and has such like rhythm to it. And obviously, the film is like something between pastiche and homage. And it's specifically got its sights on Dashiell Hammett. With Miller's Crossing, you've got, I would say, mostly Hammett with again the treatment of dialogue that you get from Howard Hawks, and then like a minimalism that like even just the rooms are empty.
Yes.
Well, I mean, the film is like, famous for its labyrinthine plotting, which was so complicated that they had to take a break from it to write Barton Fink,
Right.
Because they got confused. This is the first of their films that has like an elegiac quality.
Yes.
This movie is really moving. And it's a great film about friendship. I don't see that and think like, man, that hat represents, Sometimes you dangle stuff knowing that it's gonna,
Right. You're not.
It's gonna waste people's time. Sometimes that's the joke. The joke,
this point
the joke
on,
is like, you're gonna think this means something. Well, that's the whole point. You've just wasted your time and your thought and your energy on this. Hudsucker for me is maybe the one I've seen the most.
It's my favorite.
I love it. I love it very, very much. I would say from a directorial standpoint, it might be the high point. It's up there with their most beautifully realized films.
Yes.
This really explodes with Hudsucker Proxy, where it's like, okay, this is sort of Capra. It's like Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. And it's like, okay, it's also like The Big Clock. And like you got Sturgis, and it's mostly Capra with like the speed of Howard Hawks. Same with, you see like the Hudsucker Proxy and you're like, oh, that's The Big Clock. And
that's The Big Clock.
Oh,
yeah,
it's there's so much Hawks in there, and Sturgis, and so much Capra, especially Mr. Deeds.
Oh, Mr. Deeds.
Hudsucker Proxy is Mr. Deeds Goes to Town.
Oh, yeah.
And Hail the Conquering Hero.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've always been world builders, and they're people who are very conscious of kind of all the traditions that precede them. And what kind of distinguishes them is that they're both like a reverential thing going on, where they absolutely love these traditions, and then they're also totally irreverent, where they're kind of blowing them up. Well, they don't cost much either.
They don't. Right. They're smart about that.
Hudsucker costs a lot. It's like they're Joel Silver, $40
Can you
million.
imagine?
And Hudsucker Proxy, the hula hoop, which I know Sam Raimi was involved in helping to direct, as far as the medium has been pushed.
Yes.
As far as montage is concerned, just absolutely amazing. And just like what they're doing in that movie with music there is so great. It's like, it's very Rube Goldberg, and they're very Rube Goldberg-y filmmakers. I did see, I think the first one in theaters was Lebowski for me. And I think it was because my dad thought it was so funny. And then my mom, and so he recommended it to my mom, and then she took me. Was it 98? So I guess I would have been 12.
Yeah.
So Fargo did come out when I was 10, which is, I think, around the time I saw Raising Arizona, which makes sense.
The AFI did their 100 Years, 100 Laughs list.
And I'm sure Big Lebowski's on there now. And
now would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And Raymond Chandler.
Chandler would be Big Lebowski.
Right.
Chandler is you're just always inside of like
a drunk motherfucker. God bless him.
Point of view.
Right, who can't put his pants on, but also is so cool.
Lita's amazing. I love
no physical harm intended.
Yeah, of
I
course.
think he's so funny in that movie.
As a Brother Seamus.
I'm a Brother Seamus.
Brother Seamus.
He's one of those great character actors because he just is a type.